Thank you, Mr. President. I rise on a point of personal privilege.
Senator has the floor.
I would concede to members of this chamber that myself and several others who've spoken on various sides of various issues don't have a lot of time in the Senate. What some of us do have is very recent time in local government. And it's been stated by some individuals that the local governments don't need us to worry about this budget, that they've dealt with this before. Well, my mom told me 2 wrongs don't make a right. And because it's been done before, it doesn't make it right. Now, I'd like to very quickly, if I might, Mr. President, read one of the editorials that my colleague and friend from Henrico didn't mention, and I'll read all of it. Some of it will please some people and some of it will please others, but this isn't coming from somebody who's new to the Senate. This isn't coming from somebody who has time in local government recently. This is coming from an editorial board that one would presume is somewhat independent. There's less than a week and a half left for the Virginia General Assembly to accomplish its most important job, enacting a state budget. So far, the 3-ring circus that the 2012 session of the Assembly has become is failing miserably. Republicans who ran in November on a platform of jobs and jobs and jobs, only to go crazy over a plethora of social issues that only those in the rightmost wing of their base cared about, have worn the mantle of ringmaster for much of the session. I didn't like that part. Now, though, the 20 Democrats in the state Senate have assumed that role, and the consequences are more immediately dire for all Virginians than anything that the Republican extremists almost pushed through. The Democrats, you see, are holding the entire state budget hostage to their desire for more power in the state Senate, where they're currently tied with Republicans at 20 seats apiece. The vote of the President, Lieutenant Governor Bill Bolling, gives the GOP the power to organize the chamber and control the committees and the flow of legislation. Because the Lieutenant Governor is forbidden by the state Constitution from voting on the state budget, though, Democrats have chosen to hold the entire $85 billion 2-year spending plan hostage until they get some sort of power-sharing deal for their committee membership. They've killed their own chamber's budget, preventing it from being sent to the Virginia House of Delegates for action. They've killed the House budget, which came to them on an overwhelmingly bipartisan vote, and they've declared that the same fate awaits the House budget that Delegate Lacey Putney, independent of Bedford, just resubmitted to the Senate. It is the political version of a small child declaring that he's going to hold his breath until mommy and daddy give in to his juvenile demands. Except there are real-world consequences for all Virginians. State law requires that localities have their budgets in place by June 30th. But the school portion must be approved by May 15th. As any good businessman knows, preparing a solid spending plan requires time and planning. Tax rates, police, firefighters' salaries, local capital projects, all that and more depend upon the state budget being in place so localities know what monies there will be flowing from Richmond. That the 20 Senate Democrats have chosen to hold the entire Commonwealth hostage to their desire for a couple of extra seats on a few committees is criminal. Rather than playing games now, Democrats should be planning their next campaign to win another Senate seat or 2 in the future. Not my words, submitted for your consideration. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator.